Welcome, everyone, to Fantasy Focus Live. This is the Talking Tottenham boys, Bucky and Danny Shakes. We're brought to you by Monkey Knife Fight. Going to do a little bit of a weekend preview. We are also brought to you by Danny Shakes' private jet. Danny Shakes' private jet live from the air. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing great, Bucks. How's the feed? Am I coming in clear from 30,000 feet up?
I mean, you're 30,000 up, but you sound just like you're at eye level with me because we are the exact same height. Everyone knows that.
You haven't made it unless you're actually framing things in your jet.
Yeah, when you have framed pictures, especially that of the first ever copy of the Wall Street Journal on your PJ, that's when you know you've officially made it. Shakes, it's a pleasure to have you here on this live stream. It's a pleasure to be here with the people. We welcome all of you. We're going to be walking through a bunch of different stuff tonight. First off, we're going to be going through just a review of the first day of action yesterday, Wednesday. We had a couple of games of Premier League, kind of sloppy, but we love it. It's back. We'll have some observations on that. After that, we're going to break down our picks for all 10 games of match week 30. So it's going to be electric, Shakes, to say the very least. And then we're going to get into Monkey Knife Fight. So some daily fantasy picks, some different choices that we have. So we are affiliated with monkeyknifefight.com. If you're not aware of what they do, essentially they are daily prop fantasy games where you have your chance based on a buy-in to either double, sometimes 2.5x, sometimes 4x, and then we have a special game that we'll get into at the end where you can go 7x on your buy-in for these different prop bets. Now, it's a combination of player bets. We'll get into the scoring when we get there. But first off, Shakes, I want to get your take on the opening day of Operation or Project or whatever the hell they want to call it anymore. I can't keep up because Rebecca Lowe changed it like 6 times on us yesterday. Operation Project Restart 1.0. What were your first feelings on it yesterday?
Well, first off, does it really need a name? We talked about that on our podcast, Bucks. I thought the naming really wasn't necessary.
I kind of like it.
You like it? What do you like the most then? Project Restart?
I mean, I would have called it Project Nebula first.
Get the damn thing done.
Yeah, I mean, get the damn thing done. Nebula, nebulizer, it really doesn't matter to me. That could just because of my asthma.
Do you think the influence of the Bundesliga games coming out earlier led to them giving us like the crowd noises and all of that? Because I really felt like they were trying to trump up the NBC sports coverage here in the States. And I actually thought the football was okay. I know you didn't think it was, the best display out there. Maybe the Man City Arsenal game took half to get going. But even then, like Man City, you could tell was just far classier than Arsenal. And then Arsenal David Luiz just had probably one of the worst games of his career.
Maybe one of the worst weeks, including the friendly versus Brentford.
He was terrible then too. I didn't catch that.
So you didn't see the viral video of him essentially he headed the ball to himself. Then he tried to play keepy up.
No, I missed this.
Missed it.
Google it on live.
And then Brentford drives in for a goal, all off of him as he's loafing it back to the back end. We got Everton Jordan. Welcome, Everton Jordan, friend of the pod there. Hey, Victor, good to see you. Yeah, we got Shakes. We got myself.
Go Red Wings, Victor.
Yeah,
sorry.
Shakes, we're here to make friends.
No, we are. I actually really like the Leafs. Hate the Blackhawks.
Yeah. Continue, Shakes.
No, I was going to say, I didn't think the soccer was terrible. And I thought Man City looked like Man City form, especially in the second half, just destroying Arsenal and having 75% of the possession in the second half. The Villa United game, although it finished 0-0, I thought it was kind of an exciting 0-0 game. And I know the story out of that will just be Sheffield scored and it just didn't count. It's almost like someone forgot to turn on the Hawkeye machine. Like, I really think that's just what happened. They're like, oh shit, we haven't done anything else in the stadium. Like we turned on half the power, the concessions, we don't need that. So just someone went to the fuse box and just noticed that the Hawkeye was turned off.
So first off, extremely pleased with the result of the Man City Arsenal match. Get them on our bumpers. I love that. Stay back there. Never come forward. I want you in reverse the rest of the way in. In terms of that Sheffield match, Sheffield is that darling of the EPL this year. Darling in the sense that they just keep fighting and they don't lose.
They're rags to riches.
Rags to riches coming up from last year, and they're actually They are fighting every single match. And in my opinion, I thought they outplayed Villa, which shouldn't surprise anybody at this point. That goal, there's nothing wrong with the Hawkeye technology getting it wrong. Like the goal, we're talking about how many times, Shakes, you probably have like 6 iWatches. What do you call them, Apple Watch?
See, no, they're timepieces, and I actually don't like technology there.
Okay.
I go, tried and true, old school, classic timepieces, Bucks.
Okay, so
coming to you from a private chat. I don't have an iWatch on.
Yeah, rollies, tags, all that good stuff. I get you. Probably even like what's another good one?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything about watches.
Just timepieces.
But just trying to play
whatever.
Man.
Fine. If that portion of the technology isn't working, you still have VAR. Why wasn't this taken to the booth where the booth can definitively say this goalkeeper has the ball in the side netting, not touching the goalpost. Therefore, vis-a-vis, it is a goal. Sheffield gifted it, and Sheffield is a team ahead of Spurs right now. So I loved it personally, but I figured we come out of halftime with a correction. But we know, especially for those of you, I mean, we're going live for the first time. I recognize a lot of fantasy focus listeners here. We have Victor, we have B, one of the classics of all time, the second ever YouTube commenter. A came first. Fernando is in with us. If you're not familiar, the fact of the matter is that Spurs need all the help they can get. But Sheffield deserved to win that match, and VAR has been screwing up time and time again this year. First year they institute it. It is an absolute nightmare, and it's so suited for the Premier League. First game back, operation, rehash, whatever you want to call it. We make the most ridiculous blunder of all time. And I thought Chris Wilder actually held himself together pretty well post-match for Sheffield, because me personally, I would have blown a gasket, had a heart attack, been in the hospital, and then had another heart attack in the hospital bed. That's exactly what would have happened.
I feel like that manager is like one more good season away from getting called up to a pretty big club, by the way, because they just play well. They didn't luck into that position, where they are in the table right now, Sheffield United. But yeah, Bucks, it just made zero sense all the way through. And I figured this really suited your narrative for what to talk about when we went live, because you hate technology.
Anti-tech.
You were anti-tech. So I didn't know what really you enjoyed more, just Hawkeye not getting it right or VAR not coming in to save the day. So probably the VAR thing, I would imagine.
It's really just a marriage that was actually molded in hell.
You don't hate Hawkeye, do you?
No, I think that's not even technology. That's just sensors. I like sensors. Sensors, we all have sensors in our fingers, Shake, so I'm fine with that.
So I think the narrative that you should be selling as the anti-tech guy is that, see what this does. It's like it lulls the officials that are on the field to sleep. Like the side judges should have just called that a goal. They just should have, like the guy that was on the side where he pressed it against that net. So I guess TV view wise is the further side away from the camera. They just should have saw that thing was pressed against the net on the other side of the bar and just called it a goal. But instead they probably are, I don't know if they're taught this way, or at the very least they just figured they had the security blanket of Hawkeye always calling it right.
Not just that.
Someone just needs to step up there.
They had 2 safety blankets on. They had a weighted blanket in the sense of Hawkeye, and they just had another throw blanket on top of that with VAR. The boys in the booth in West London, they didn't get it done, and we're all the richer for it, because Sheffield, they're a competitor, and they're a club that we have to face here in a couple of weeks. If they're dropping points, I'm all for it. So I did see a question here from B. If we could get that pulled up here, producer. I'm thinking about becoming an Aston Villa supporter. Am I setting myself up for major disappointment? No, not really. Here's the thing with Villa. Storied club from Birmingham, second largest city in England. So they have great kits. I love Villa's kits. They also have great park, absolutely great park in Villa Park, great stadium. The problem is they're on that fence of relegation. They might get sent down, but anymore in the States, B, if you have ESPN Plus, you can watch just about any championship game. So that's the league below the Premier League. And Villa will be a team that will be back up. I have no doubts about that. And I think they have a chance to fight forward. That's the thing about the Prem. No matter what, it's going to be heartbreaking. Right now, unless you support a team like Man City or Liverpool, it's frustrating as all hell. It's one of those things where week in, week out, you have no idea what to expect, and that's what makes it so beautiful. It is the beautiful game.
B, I don't know where you're located, but actually, if you're in the States, it's easier to follow a team like Aston Villa if you have like the NBC Gold, so you can actually tune into all those games that aren't shown on the regular networks. The thing that would be frustrating, in addition to possibly going down and then have to struggle through the championship to come back up, would be you worry that players like Grealish or Mings or whoever would be on your club for a year or two and then work their way up to another club. So it might be tough to kind of like have your guy, like we have Harry Kane or Sonny, because some of the players that differentiate themselves on that squad might get called up to a team that can, just unfortunately pay more for that person.
That's the truth of the matter. So one last point here on yesterday's matches. Michael Oliver was the referee responsible for the gaff with the Sheffield goal. He's refereeing Spurs Man U tomorrow.
Oh, good.
And no, I don't feel good about that.
I'm
shitting my pants. My pants are full of shit because I think we're gonna get a gaff against Spurs that's just gonna screw us over altogether, and I'm not gonna be happy about it, Shakes. But let's get into.
Well, real quick, Man City. Do you have anything else to add with it? I like that Man City. Spurs beat Man City before the shutdown, and Man City seems to be in pretty good form. Everyone's healthy, and on top of that, they're going to be most likely banned. We'll find out in July from European football. So that means top 5 might help Spurs. So really, we're Man City fans, right? They're like our hired henchmen. We want them to beat everyone in their path to hopefully take out this mid area of the table to help out Spurs.
Yeah, they're Jason Bourne.
Yeah, they're just going straight up Jason Bourne style.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Bourne movie, Buck?
I like Bourne Identity, the original.
I like the original too. The second had I didn't read the book, so I wasn't expecting her to get clipped in the first minute. So that was a shocker.
Yeah, it was.
But I think I like the first
Shakes. I don't read, so.
You don't read good.
I read Harry Potter. That's about it.
Me too.
Great books. Goblet of Fire. Okay. Let's get into picks. So my favorite part about this restart is the fact that every single game is sequential. There are no concurrent games that will be happening at any point in time, which is a rarity for the Premier League. Meaning in the States, every single match will be televised on NBC Sports. You will have the opportunity to watch every single team. That's never happened before unless concurrently. So, I mean, really, you've never had this opportunity to watch them on the big screen. It's amazing. So starting tomorrow, 12:55 p.m., we have Norwich City and Southampton. Southampton is the favorite at plus 220 to win. Norwich with plus 320. You have Southampton currently at 14th, Norwich at 20th. Shakes, what's your take on this game?
So I guess I would say it means more to Norwich because they are fighting to stay up. The problem is they might be so far down. They have 21 points. I was pulling up the table just now. And then Aston's got 26. Really, it should be 25, but that's how that worked for them. And then everyone else after that, 27. There's a 3-way tie there with Bournemouth, Watford, West Ham. Brighton's got 29. So Norwich is in win now, must win mode. So I know they'll have more to play for, whereas you could make the argument Southampton at 14th in the table. They're not going down most likely, but they're also probably too far out to get into European play. So I kind of like Norwich here, Buck, because they just have far more to play for. And you'll never know coming out of these things because, who knows, how the players treated it, who's taking this more seriously in the conditioning realm. I know they get 5 substitutions, and I saw that question on the chat. I'd love to talk through that with you.
We will when we get to Spurs.
5 substitutions, yeah.
I think Fernando is with us. He's one of our own.
Yeah, absolutely. Great first name, like our boy Lorente. But I think I like the plus odds I get on the money line, or you can double chance Norwich. I think I lean that way just because it means more, and Southampton might just be going through the motions, and until you have some sort of sample size, you have a couple games under their belt, maybe you're seeing, wow, Southampton's taking this shit real seriously. I think I would go that route versus, it's not like we have past performance play to hang our hats on. You can't say this is what they were like in March. So I think I like the juice that I get with Norwich.
Okay, so I mean, I'm looking at this less as a betting man, more as somebody that actually has a pulse on what's going on here.
How do you have a pulse on this?
I got a pulse.
They haven't played in 100 days.
They have not played, so that's why my pulse is beating so good. I actually have a steady heart rate instead of it blasting out of the roof.
It's faint.
Yeah, it is faint. So we got Norwich, who's 7 below that crossover line from relegation. Southampton's only 7 above it, so you act like they're not competing for Europe. I understand that, but 7 between 7, they're both fighting for the same right to stay in the Premier League. Southampton, of course, more comfortable, the more talented club. Here's the difference maker. Danny Ings has been on fire this year. Danny Ings is unstoppable, one of the best-looking men in the Premier League. Let's be honest. Just absolute stud. And I got Southampton winning this 2-1.
I disagree. I like it. I like that we don't disagree on everything.
Right out the gates, Shakes. You couldn't even ease into this.
No.
Doesn't surprise me at all. You're in a private
just needs more to Norwich. I get it. Ings was great in March, but it's tough. You just don't know how that's all going to translate.
You think he's just been slaying it with the lady sense?
You never know. I mean,
yeah, breaking curfew and
yeah. You think he's the rule breaker? I can see that.
Of course, he's the rule breaker, man.
Who's Spurs' biggest rule breaker?
Well, I think we all know.
You think
Surge?
It's Surge.
Surge has gotten 13 haircuts.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. that we know about. So I guess it'd be the second rule breaker. I guess who would it be surprising to be then? Maybe that's the way to question it.
Son.
Like if you found out Sonny was the big rule breaker, or like Winks.
I mean, Son is most certainly he toes the line. He never crosses it.
He's crossed the line a couple times this year.
Oh, yeah. He gets feisty in that. Let's not disagree. All right, on to the big one here. Spurs plus 275 at home. Not that really makes a difference aside from the fact that it is our pitch. We've played more matches there. Man U plus 250. We lost 2-1 at Old Trafford earlier in the year, and honestly, Spurs just never got it together in that match. Here's the deal. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. All right? I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm smoking the pipe. I'm doing whatever it is. I'm doing the rain dance. Spurs are going to come away with the victory here. With Michael Oliver, despite him allowing a goal for Man U that should have never been allowed, 2-1 Spurs. We take it home. What's your prediction? Then we'll get to Fernando's question.
So on the podcast, we did talk 2-1 Spurs. I agree with you on that one. I will say, though, this is your money line odds that you pulled up?
Yeah, money line.
So you might, if we can get plus 275 Spurs, let's pause this thing real quick and place this bet before we then return to everybody. Because I have as plus 2, excuse me, I'm not on the team. I have Spurs at plus 200, and I would still take that. I'll take 2-1 on them to win outright. I have a draw at plus 240. I hate betting draws. It's like my least favorite thing to do on the planet, but not the worst odds for a game like this. You can double chance Spurs and you might spend minus 140, minus 150 on that. Not a bad bet.
Double chance for some of our unfamiliar.
Double chance meaning that you're betting the team to the double chances, tie or win. So you're going to give up some odds on that in order to have both outcomes available to you to win.
Great explanation, Shakes, as always.
Hey, you heard that through the turbulence of my jet, too. Got a little rough right here.
I'll rely on your odds because that seems more realistic. I might be a bit behind here, but I'm looking at it live. It's saying plus 275. I'm taking Spurs here. I think they win it outright. I got that feeling. I have it down in my plums, down in my apples. Ndombele Masterclass, Bob Larman, my guy. Let's hope so. All right, we're going to need some help in the midfield because, let's be honest, the Wing-Soko pairing did not get it done in the previous installation of this match. McTominay just dominated that toe-to-toe.
And Fred.
Fred played the game of his life that game. I hate Fred. I hope I don't see him tomorrow.
I think he plays.
Of course, Fred plays. Shakes.
Get into that question, though, Bucks. I think Spurs should use all 5 subs. If I say that right now. However, if the team's rolling and it turns out, just whatever it is, like just energy isn't an issue. Maybe you see Jose because he just likes to leave subs on the bench, like only go to 3 or 4 guys. But I just think first game back, and you finally got a little depth on the team because even though Dele is not playing, it sounds like Dyer will play.
Yeah,
so
Dyer's playing.
so there will be a little bit more defensive depth there, and then also now we got some attackers. So I'm actually cool with doing the 5 subs. I think we should. I think if it does turn into a depth game, though, I mean, now that they got Bruno Fernandes too, I mean, Man U's just got more players. With that said, I'd like to think we have the better manager. So hopefully he'll just use his substitutions more wisely.
Well, we all like to think that, Shakes, but that isn't always the reality here.
Guys had 100 days to prepare.
I had something written down like for the podcast here. Can't find it, but essentially we do have depth for once. So I don't think we're going to use all 5. It's just based on what I've seen from Jose. You know, he has this tendency to not utilize all the subs, and if he does, there's a sub in like the 90th or 91st minute for that third and final sub. I'd expect us to use 4 subs tomorrow. I really don't know what to make of the starting lineup, though. We're not going to get into it. If you want to check out kind of our thoughts on where we were with our starting lineups, there is episode 96 available on Spotify, on iTunes, episode 96 Talking Tottenham. So we're not going to get into that. However, Fernando, I think it's a great question. Coys, of course, get it done. We both think they will. And honestly, I've never been so nervous in my life as I am now. And I think the big reason is it's weird. This is such a weird scenario to have this restart go on. But most times, even, last year we lose Champions League final. My heart, my soul is in the dumps. So is yours, Shakes, except you were up in the air 30,000 feet. So technically, no, it wasn't in the dumps. It was up. But you was kind of sunken a little bit. Anyways, we were both there. But you get that, it's like taking a bath and just putting that fresh water, a little bit of soap in your face, and you come back clean with brand new hopes. You make off-season signings. You feel like, oh, and Ndombele's coming in. We're going to be on fire. Sessegnon, oh, shit, we're about to be killing it. And then all of a sudden, Spurs are dumpster fire. Poch gets fired. We look like a great team for the first few weeks under Jose, and then it goes right back into the dumpster fire. Even worse, it's like a triple dumpster fire with injuries galore. You had the hog that was promised go out. You had Heung-min Son go out, Harry Kane, and all of a sudden, all the chips were stacked against us. I'm nervous because I feel that hope creeping in, but I understand where we came from and just how nervous I am about the fact that we were such shit. And now I have those expectations again. The expectations, as they always say, those are what will kill you. So I'm a bit nervous, but I have faith tomorrow. Both teams rusty as all hell. Like you said, Jose, all respect to the old gunner. I like to think that Jose can outclass him with a full squad.
He better. And all he complained about was, if I had some training time when I get an off season, this team will look 100 times different and will be more successful. And he kind of got that. And he got that like mid-season and got his players back. So really, it's put up or shut up time for Jose, I think. I mean, it's incredible, Bucks, to think where Spurs were after getting destroyed by Leipzig and going out of the Champions League in the round of 16, and then have Man U 3 days later. And then somehow, that game doesn't happen. Everyone gets healthy. We're 3 months later, and now they have a chance because of Man City cheating. Allegedly cheating. We'll see what happens. But
no, they cheated. Sorry about that there, Will.
Yeah.
Jenkins. They cheated.
Unfortunately, it appears so. And, if that means top 5 works out and they beat Man U, they're 1 point out of that. That seems insane, Bucks. We were hoping to finish top of the first half of the table. We were hoping 10th or better, or maybe get into Europa. And now, if Spurs win tomorrow, it's all in front of them. So that goes back to your hope factor, man. And I'd have it no other way, even though right now it's just, I'm jittery as all can be. I'm going to drink way too much coffee tomorrow morning. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know how I'm going to tackle this game. I'm just going to probably pace around in circles while it just goes on. And I don't even know.
I think I'm going to ride bike for about 35 miles tomorrow. because I'm not working. I couldn't work. I would have been a terrible mess at work all day.
What's the furthest you've biked so far? I know you've gotten new into the biking game.
20 miles.
All right, your butt would be pretty sore if you just.
Oh, but I need a sore butt to be able to handle this because I'd rather be prepared for how sore my butt will be if we lose. Question here from Robert Larman. Tomorrow, would you want right wing Lamela having a great training camp? That's the story every single year, though. Whenever we're coming back into the season, Lamela is absolutely killing it in preseason and off season. Or having the dynamic of Bergwijn, Steve, with Kane and Son? It's a great question. I'll go to you first, Shakes.
We talked about this on our podcast, the 96th episode. I think he starts. I actually do, because he's been having a good, quote unquote off season or lead up in the exhibition play that Spurs had with Norwich, as well as like the inter-team scrimmages that they've had. And that's kind of his MO, right? He's a guy that will start out pretty hot. Remember, he scored the goal against Man City. What was that, second or third game of the year? Mm-hmm. When this season started 12 months ago, basically. Yeah. And I think he's like that horse that you ride until he eventually kind of gets knocked up a little bit, and he just can't, unfortunately, go back-to-back games or full 90s. And I think also there's that trust factor that Jose has built with Lamela because he's been on the team since Jose got there, whereas Steve is still probably the future.
I mean, Steve got there 2 months later.
I know. Well, I mean, still, he only played. Then he got hurt. How many matches did he play? More than 5?
No.
Okay. Well,
but I love Steve. I love Steve.
I love Steve. I think Steve's the better player eventually for the team, but I think Lamela gets to start tomorrow because I think you want the speed of Son and Steve, and that's what we talked about in the podcast. I think that will ultimately be the better lineup, but I think Lamela gets the start tomorrow. And I don't think that's a terrible decision, especially if they get tired and they got kind of slower center backs and Steve comes in the 60th minute. That could be helpful. Having a blazer back there. Son's going to start. So speed, the speed that you have on the bench, Lucas has it, but Steve's got it in spades, assuming he's 100% all the way back.
Well, you also have Lucas that could potentially come in for Kane if needed. So I think that Lucas is the sub for Kane. Bergwijn is the sub there for Lamela. I actually think, Robert, that Lamela starts. I know I said Steve would start, but the more I see that beautiful bleach blonde hair of Lamela's, the more I'm into it. No. It was the bleach blonde hair, Shakes. This had nothing to do with you. We're moving on. Coys, get it done. Beat Man U. Sorry about your luck, Tyler. Going down, son. All right. We got Watford, Leicester City. Leicester sitting in third. Watford, such a weird club. Sometimes they look okay. Other times they look like shit. They're sitting in 18th. What do you got?
So I like Leicester. I don't think this is like a surprise game or anything like that. It's at Watford, but that'd be a way different deal if it wasn't Vicarage Road with all the fans and
Elton John and his grandkids.
There. Yeah, taking it all in, just intimidating the hell out of the away team.
Elton just sits there with his grandkids and he just like rubs.
Do you think Elton's got like game day shades? And there's different
he's got
games?
Game day shades.
Absolutely. No, I think he's got like different kinds of game day shades.
What do you mean by that?
Like if it's a different type of match, if it's a top 6, he's got different shades versus like a Leicester. I think he's got different shades, like just like you would go to like a different outfit or
like
whatever.
Different actual like shades and lenses.
That or just he goes stars, circle, square, whatever he's feeling.
I've never seen
no one can pull off shades better than him and ever, right?
I think he retired the stars, but this might be a star shade match.
Is that how you know it's an important match for him? Like star shades are out, in Watford colors. Yeah. I think Leicester takes it. I do think eventually Leicester might be a team we should star this Bucks to like bet against, because if they win a couple games out the gate and then the Man City ruling comes in early July, so it's top 5, really they might just be far ahead enough where they're not obviously winning the table, but they're not going to finish below 5th.
And then second to last match, they got Spurs.
That helps Spurs. See how we're all painting this up? Yeah, that game will not matter for Leicester, like at all. Play all your young kids, sub out like any team you want. Make it look like Arsenal yesterday.
Yeah.
They played some players that I'd never heard of.
Sign David Luiz for a little bit.
Sure, have Luis come in just as a celebrity red card, and I just think Leicester's a play now, but I'm looking forward to betting against them, not because they're bad, because I think they're a really good team. I think actually they could be. I mean, Man City's better than them, but I think they're better than Chelsea. They're in the spot that I think they should be in at third in this table. They've had a great year, and I just think eventually, though, it's like you got to think about next year. And if you're qualified, why at all, if it's going to be a quick turnaround, are you going to risk like hurting Madison or Vardy, any of those guys?
Yeah, I totally agree. I got Leicester winning 2-0. On to Brighton versus Arsenal. Brighton sitting in 15th. They're only 2 points on top of relegation zone, so this is a big match for them. Arsenal sitting in 9th, 5 points back of the Champions League. Listen, I think Arsenal played a weak squad intentionally against Man City, thinking no matter what, with our best horses, we can't run with these guys. I got Arsenal winning this, going away 3-1.
Yeah, I think Arsenal's quality should eventually take over in this match. Maybe it's even 0-0, 1-1, something like that at half. But just depth-wise, this is that game where it's like, okay, 5 subs, that should help us all out. And like you said, they pretty much knew they were kind of in for it against Man City. Yeah. Maybe they had a little belief going into halftime, and then right before halftime, Sterling scores. And then after that, it was just game over after Luis got the red card like 5 minutes into the second half. But I agree with you. I like Arsenal. If I can get them like at plus odds, which I think it looks like right now on my side, like a plus 130-ish, I think I take that, because now we're talking must-win territory for Arsenal. They can't fall that far back with these teams in between them to get to Europe even.
Well, especially you have Man U playing Spurs. So no matter what, there's going to be a 3-point differential there.
Something's happening.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it's true.
But the minute I saw Nketiah and Saka start, I knew that they were just waiting for this match here. They knew this is their opportunity for 3 points. On to a match that is such a sleeper. This is going to be the ugliest match of the entire weekend, in my opinion. You have West Ham, who is completely inept on every front, going up against Wolves, who, as talented as Wolves are, I have yet to see them really put together a complete Premier League game this year. They're a lot like Spurs in that you see how uber talented they are, but I don't know, man. They just can't seem to put pen to paper and let it ride. You know what I mean? They're not like they're freestyling. They're not writing down tracks. Is kind of how they're playing it. I know you kind of disagree with me there, but I think I watch a lot more Wolves than you, considering I got 2 good buddies of mine.
Buddies, I get it. Yeah, no. So you see it far more than I do.
I think I see the emotional side of it, just like how we can connect on that with Spurs. Not that we're emotionally connected at all. I hate your guts, but when we have Wolves, I think it's going to be a 1-0 match. Wolves beat West Ham.
I could see Wolves distancing themselves from West Ham here, although I did like the take by our buddy Everton Jordan that West Ham is looking forward to playing in front of no fans. They'll be just right at home there.
It's true.
Yeah. So first game at West Ham, they're not going to notice any difference. But
very little difference there.
Which should be funny. Like, watch us like after this is all over. It's like West Ham took like 8th most points or something.
Yeah.
Just because they're just equipped for this. But I think Wolves they're the better team, and they're in a hunt for this. Europa got kind of pushed back on them, so this is it. They need to differentiate themselves from the teams below them. They're slightly ahead of Spurs here. They're in a dogfight with everyone else, Man U, Chelsea, and they just have to win. So I like getting them. I don't know if I like plus 110. I think I'd take them more if I can get like a double chance scenario. I'm not sure like what those odds are. It's not refreshing on my side. Not sure if that's because of like lineups, injuries, whatever, but that's what I'm going to look at, Bucks, when it gets closer to match time, because I don't want to say like West Ham can't get a draw out of this, because they were frisky against even Liverpool. Remember before the shutdown. So I like Wolves, but I'm not taking them money line. I could double chance them, maybe double chance them with a parlay on somebody too, like an Arsenal.
So I got a weird feeling that Traore doesn't start this match.
Why is that?
I don't know. The Holy Spirit just plays these mind games with them.
Coach Holy Spirit to you.
Yeah, Coach Holy Spirit. Whenever they have these tight games, the way that we're going through right here, for whatever reason, it might just be how tightly wound Traore is, that he doesn't want to risk that. And I think with West Ham, he kind of sees some low-hanging fruit there. I wouldn't be surprised to see Traore not start this match, which is why I have it as an ugly 1-0 win. But I think Wolves are the much better team here. West Ham is shit. Let's go to Bournemouth, Crystal Palace. This is an intriguing match. I got it 1-1.
I hate calling draws myself, but I could see a draw happening. It's plus 220, which is kind of lower in the world of draw odds that you would get. I could see it being a 1-1, a 2-2. Bournemouth's got a good keeper, and I know it's at their stadium, which that could help a little bit. The dimensions of their stadium, just kind of understanding that, just like I hope it helps Spurs tomorrow. I lean towards Bournemouth, but I know I'm getting plus odds if I take them outright. It's probably a stay away now for me. As far as like if you bet money line, it's pick 'em. Not money line. If you bet the spread, it's pick 'em. So you could also bet Bournemouth and just know that if they draw, no blood. You just get your money back. You don't have to worry about it.
So reverse double chance.
No, you're just betting Bournemouth.
Oh, you're betting Bournemouth.
Spread. Yeah, I bet them on the spread. Just if they win, great. If they tied, if the game was a draw, then whatever. I pushed.
Okay. By the way, Crystal Palace has flown under the radar.
Yeah.
And as much as they're not like a statistic heavy team, they're just feisty as all hell. I like that team in
I know you didn't like me talking about it a couple minutes ago with Southampton, but Crystal Palace, they're 11th in the table. They're only 2 points behind Spurs. So, you're right. They can make their way up and get to Europa, but they're a team where, you got Bournemouth that's tied for, 16th, 17th, 18th, all 27 points.
18th, Shakes. Do some math.
Yeah. They are just in a way more desperation mode right now than Crystal Palace. And you would think that's just what they all talked about, like the last 90 days and how they trained. Like, hey, we need to stay up, and this thing matters. And I think just even if you're playing in this league, if you're playing at 110%, someone's at 97%, I think that happens, man, where even a team with less talent like Bournemouth over Crystal Palace, less wage bill, they can win that game outright.
Here's my issue, though. Ryan Fraser did not sign a short-term contract for Bournemouth. And Fraser's that's spring.
So not playing once June 30th hits or July 31st? Whatever.
No, he's not playing.
Just period, not right now. Well, he's got to still honor the rest of this contract, right?
Yeah, but no, he's not going to be playing this match.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, they need King to step up and
Callum Wilson.
Well,
I like Callum Wilson quite a bit. We'll get into that with some Monkey Knife Fight picks here in just a minute, folks.
Oh, boy.
All right, Newcastle, Sheffield. Sheffield having to play a match midweek.
Everything's stacked against Sheffield. I love it.
Got to go up north, and it's not that far north of Sheffield, but I like this to be another 1-1 draw. I hate calling draws, but Newcastle's been that club that just hasn't really pieced it together, but beat Spurs. They beat Spurs. Not that that's anything that, they don't have like, a cockerel on their wall stuffed or anything like that for that win. That was a shit victory. I just feel like this is such a stalemate. I really don't want to spend much time on this. I need Sheffield to drop points, so that's why I'm calling this a draw.
Yeah, I mean, it could go the way that Sheffield's pissed off, and then they just take it out on Newcastle, who is by far the inferior team, and Sheffield should dominate the midfield against them. But I'm going to go 1-1 as well with Danny Rose getting a late equalizer, Buck. What do you think of that?
I love that. I love it. He'll probably talk a lot to the media afterwards. Here we go. This one is for B.
About stuff that makes a ton of sense.
This is for my guy B, future Aston Villa supporter. Aston Villa at home against Chelsea. The odds on this are insane, and rightfully so. Chelsea wins 2-0. Chelsea's going to have to knock the rust off. I like a 2-0 victory here.
Yeah, and this would be the problem, B. It's like there will be those times where Aston might shock, some top six teams, but, Chelsea could also roll into town, win 3-0, and no one kind of talks about it, and that's where that can get frustrating.
This is where Villa playing the first match, being a match behind, really cost them.
So I don't think so yet. I actually think Villa playing and knowing this situation and like just kind of having that experience helps them out. It's still at Villa Park, it looks like.
But you're already gassed.
No, I don't think you're gassed yet. It'd be like if it
You're
was
gassed, Shakes.
no,
They
if it's the fifth match, Bucks, you're more gassed. You
had
haven't played in
2.5
100 games.
weeks of training, Shakes. They just played a match, and now you're telling me they got to go out, 4 days later, and
But
they're
they stayed
going
home.
to
They
go.
stayed home.
Oh, good Lord.
Look, if you're gonna have a quick back to back, you'd rather it be now against Chelsea versus like it's like, oh, then Chelsea comes 3 days later and it's your sixth out of matches in whatever 22 days.
Fair enough. I like Chelsea. I think you do too.
Yeah, they're gonna win money line, but if you're giving me like I have to get 1.5 Chelsea or whatever, if I had to bet them on the spread, I don't want that. So just parlay Chelsea with something else safe.
I'm betting Chelsea 1.5.
I'll take it. I'll just book the bet for you.
Fair. Thank you, sir. We have Everton at home. Everton Jordan, friend of the pod, longtime contributor.
Love you, EJ.
Going up against Liverpool, I got 3-1 Liverpool.
So Liverpool wasn't the greatest before the shutdown. They got bounced from Champions League. They didn't look good against West Ham. They lost to Watford. Watford, right? But anyway, it was
so long ago. It was 14 weeks ago, Shakes. I can't remember that. I can't even remember what I did on Monday.
I had breakfast yesterday.
Yeah.
I like Everton to actually eke out a draw here, and I'm not just saying that because Everton Jordan's listening in. I actually think this is a match that, Liverpool's going to win the league. It's going to happen eventually. Maybe they want to do it against Everton, and now they really can't. They could actually win, and then Man City, I think, lose the next day and clinch it. But it's not like they clinched it on the field. So I think that kind of took away from it a little bit. And now, as a result, like if that little juice is out of Liverpool and Everton plays like this is their season, I kind of can see Everton drawing this and making it 1-1 or 2-2. So I like the draw here, and I wouldn't be against taking Everton if you're going to give me over +1. And I don't know about what your site's got, Buck, but I'm at +1 right now. If that ever eked up to 1.5, or if I can just take +1 outright, I mean, that's not a bad move at all, I don't think.
Fair enough. Let's get into the last match of the actual match week 30. Man City, Burnley. Burnley is down just about everybody on their front line. I'm going Man City here in a blowout, 2-0. I think City is going to just play a whole bunch of subs in this match. 2-0. I say blowout, not exactly a blowout, but I like 2-0 here.
So I don't want to give out free money, but I'm going to try to right here. You can spend $143 on my site to win 100 if you parlay Man City and Chelsea both to win. Not saying I'm playing it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But that would be if I like playing the favorites, and I think the favorites will do well in this reopen time period, kind of like how they have in Bundesliga, then just because depth favors them and they get more subs and all that, then I really like that parlay Chelsea, Man City. And right. Man City, I don't know. It's just, they're going to win. They win 2-0, 3-0 because they executed, 4-0 because they won a man down. I don't know. It'll be something big.
Well, it's time for us to get into our Monkey Knife Fight picks. So if you're not familiar with Monkey Knife Fight, go to monkeyknifefight.com. If you deposit $50, you get $50 back. If you use the code FOCUS, that's $100 to play with. Danny Shakes, go ahead and pull up Monkey Knife Fight for the people here.
I shall share the screen, Buck.
We're sharing the screen. All right, so this is Monkey Knife Fight here. So we're going to walk through. You have a few different options here. Once you log in, deposit your money. Again, use the code FOCUSED. If you deposit 50, you will get 50 on top of that, equaling $100. So the first thing we're going to start with, we're going to do individual game matches. You click on the soccer icon or football, whatever you want. Go ahead, Shakes. Click on Man U Tottenham for me. Boom. So these are our picks here. And you have your games on the top line there. So you have your more or less games, your goal rush games, and your rapid fires. So all of these are independent games. We have picked out the ones that we like the most, and we're going to run through it. So this first one here, I love on both accounts. We have Hunman. Oh, by the way, scoring system. That might help the people out there.
So people know what that means, Bucks.
Yeah, exactly. So scoring system. A goal is worth 3 points. An assist is worth 2 points, and a shot on target, meaning the goalkeeper has to save the ball.
Or Tanganga on the line.
What's that?
Or a Tanganga on the line stop.
Yeah, Tanganga. Somebody prevents it from going into the net. Okay, that's worth 1 point. So 3 points for a goal, 2 points for an assist, 1 point for a shot on target. Here we have, you have to get 2 out of 2 here for 2.5x your buy-in. So if you buy in with 10, you get 25 back if you win. I'm really high on Martial getting over. It's more or less, not over under. I got Martial at more. I have Son at more than 1.5 points. So I did a little bit of analysis here. We break this out. Anthony Martial in 23 matches in the Premier League, averaging 2.65 points per game, 28 shots on target, 11 goals, no assists. Look, Spurs defense has not been great all year. They're missing Tanganga going in this game, who is one of the better featured players. There's been limited shots of Dave Sanchez in action leading up to this match, so where there's a lot of question marks in terms of central defense. I like Martial to at least get a couple of shots on net that puts him over. Hunman's Son, on the other hand, one of the most efficient players in terms of monkey knife fight scoring in the league, at 3.38 points per game, 30 shots on target in 21 matches, 9 goals, 7 assists. Hunman's Son is going to go over 1.5 in this match. More.
What are we putting on this, Bucks?
I'm putting a good tenner on it. 10 to win 25.
I like it. Nothing else to add except for, because you did some research there, bud. Both players like to shoot. So really just let's get 2 shots on net. You're in. I like Sonny to score. I think I like Rashford more to score than Martial, but
I don't know. I like Martial to score.
He's a player that Poch always liked. And when he fell out of favor for a while, there were some rumblings that he could go out there, including here to the North London side. But, that's probably sailed by now. I like the bet. Maybe this is just like you like taking overs in football games or other types of like NBA games. But I'm on the same boat. I think just it's also more fun to root for, right?
It is more fun. Well,
kind of. My son didn't go in. I'm pissed. However, I just got a point. Fancy point. Halfway to my 5-2 odds.
We will take the points however we can get them, just like I would take any number that anyone would be living to get me.
Am I submitting this right now?
Yeah, submit.
Boom.
Hit it. I actually love this pick. That's the second most confident pick that I have in this entire set.
I like it. And you can send a link to your friends to really, just kind of add to the degenerateness of it all.
To the mojo. All right, Shakes, you can close out of that. All right, go back in. New game. Boom. All right, we're doing rapid fire matchups. 2 out of 2 for 2x. There you go. All right, so this is a different structure of a game. It's one player versus another to outscore point-wise, and there are odds associated with particular players here. So we have Kane versus Rashford. Rashford getting plus 1.5. I got Rashford here.
Yeah, if this was the previous game they played in December at Old Trafford, this would have been a walk away because Rashford had 2 goals and I think at least 2 other shots that were saved by Gazzaniga in that match.
Yep.
So to get plus 1.5, look, we love Kane far more than Rashford. Let's be real. He's our guy. But I think they're trying to put the money on Kane because he's the name brand, well-known player. So I'm with you. I don't. That might mean still Kane scores, but just to get that juice on the plus 1.5, I think I'm with you and taking Rashford.
Well, Rashford's also just a wonderful citizen there of England. What a wonderful act he did by pulling the U-turn on the school lunches for the kids. I love that guy right now.
Are you worried that he's got so much goodwill, good juju, if you will, karma, like that might be insurmountable tomorrow?
No.
Me neither. Okay, just making sure we're aligned because I hate that narrative, but I've heard it like countless times.
No, Sissoko's playing tomorrow. I'm not worried about no Rashford, but I
Just
do
that
like
all.
Rashford in this one. And then we have Sun versus Martial. Hunman Sun getting 0.5 points on Martial. This is Hunman Sun.
Yeah, and there could be a world too that Martial gets subbed out quicker than Son will, because if Son's 100% healthy, if there's one thing I know, it's Jose Mourinho loves Sonny, and he might play longer too. So I like getting that half point. I'll take that all day long. Guess we're taking the two underdogs, if you will, Buck. We want to put like a 5 spot on it? What do you think?
I'll put a 5 spot on that.
Plus half, 1/2. We're in, boy.
All right.
Should I email this to Jordan right now? Put his email on live TV?
I hope not. Actually, do it. Spam them.
Yeah.
All right, go back into that matchup, please.
Nope.
All right, so this is what I want to talk to you about. This is the more or less 3 out of 3 for 4x your buy-in. So if you get 3 out of 3, you get 4 times back your buy-in. So I think Kane comes in less personally. Even if he scores a goal, look, first match back in 6 months. I'm not exactly high on the fact that Kane's going to come out gun blazing. And even if he gets that goal, that gets him over, right? It's a goal and a shot on target.
Yeah.
But I don't think Kane scores. So I put that at less for me. What are your thoughts?
Well, I kind of like Kane over here, but that's me. I don't feel as strongly about it probably as you do. I just think Kane could go 30 minutes without touching the ball, and then that one touch, he just buries it. That's how devastating of a finisher he is. So it's just he's going to get a chance, I think, Buck. So then right there, that's 3 points. So then do I get another shot on net? I don't know. Basically, by the way, like for those that are new to Monkey Knife Fight, it's, as you know, parlay bet. So if you're used to like a money line parlay or something of that sort, that's basically what we're doing here, but on a player level. And I'll go with you, Bucks. I'll go less, just not to fight you on it. I don't have the energy in my PJ right now to really fight for it.
Yeah.
But Kane now gets a brace or a hat trick, and you eat shit.
It's an altitude problem, and I will eat shit. I will literally eat shit. I got Rashford at more at 2.5 here.
I do too. I mean, shit, a goal, you win that.
Not just a goal. I think he's going to be peppering shots. I think we're so susceptible down the left flank where he plays. I think it's going to be more. Hunman Son, 1.5, that's more.
That's more.
So I
really like this one. Well, yeah. Actually, I kind of like more all the way across, but again, that must not hit as much. Otherwise, the algorithm at Monkey Knife Fight wouldn't be making the site money. So this is probably the play, right? Like, well, are we like $5 on this or like 10?
I'll put 10 on it. I already did.
Well, let's do it together. So that's 10 to win 40. Says it right there.
40. Look at that.
Buy in, prize 40. Submit that bad boy right now. Glad I got my wife's credit card.
Thank goodness. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Miss Shakes.
Thanks, Miss Shakes.
And then we got the Bucky basket of apples 4 for 4 challenge here.
Lots got to go right.
This pays seven.
Got to go right.
This pays 7x. I'm gonna go with the same old here. Kane less, Rashford more, Son more, Martial more. I'm gonna ride the exact same train I've been on. You know, as a Spurs supporter, I feel like I have a pretty good pulse on this. I feel that obviously it's a $5 bet. You could even do a $2 bet.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like that's a great point by you. If you are a big time supporter, a fan of your team, and you're really following it day in, day out, like there was a stretch Sonny was unstoppable, and we all knew like we were betting like Sonny for a brace or Sonny to score. So if we were on Monkey Knife Fight, you know, during that time, and you could pair him against somebody like a heads up, or pair him, you know, to do a more or less, you know, to 2x, 3x, 7x it, Like there could be some money that you can make there if you have like a real good pulse on like who's hot, who's playing well.
And just the flow of your games. Obviously, we don't have that in our favor right now, but I know all of these players quite well. And quite frankly, the 1.5 for both Martial and Son is low.
I agree.
And Son and Kane is high at 3.5. So I like where this one lands.
I mean, Kane hasn't played since what? New Year's?
He has not played since New Year's. All right, so we got, let's see here. I have 3 more that I like here, Shake. So let's go over into the crossover games. You go back into new game.
I'm there, buddy.
And the Star Shootout on Friday to the left there. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and get into the 2 for 2 for 2x. More or less, that one. All right, so Harry Kane and Danny Ings. For whatever reason, like I said, I think Danny Ings is the lifeblood of Southampton. I think Danny Ings goes over, so more 2.5, Kane with less. And I love that I got Fernando with me here, agrees that Kane, I mean, look, I love Harry Kane, but the fact that we have Sonny back, Steve Bergwijn, we got everybody, the full horses. Lamella playing great leading up to this match in obviously some non-official matches. He's playing great, man. He's playing great. Yeah. So I don't really know what that means.
I just love how much you guys are putting down Kane, just giving him so much to prove right now. I love it.
Yeah. He's tuning in right now at 2:30 a.m. before a huge match. 3:30 a.m.
By the way, what's up with Danny Ings' picture here?
Yeah, that's not a very appealing picture for him. Nor is it for Kane. Nor is it for
they're
Kane.
all looking at something off to our left. I'm not sure what.
It's basically like me. My teeth slant to the left, so I'm used to this.
We had that question. You guys see the Spurs soccer golf on there? I did not see that.
No, I don't know if you're talking about the techie. Are you talking about the techie where they play? It's kind of like ping pong with a slanted table. I'm not sure, but yes, I did see that, Victor, and it was amazing. I've not seen the soccer golf, which is a great game, by the way. Foot golf is what they call it. No, I haven't watched that. Victor, shoot a link in there for me, would you, bud?
Yeah, do it for the other folks watching along.
You know, we got our guy Fernando, who is, you know, he's with us till the end, and he's with me. So therefore, that trumps you. This one is 2 to win 2x. So I like a $5, $10 bet there.
Go 5 on it.
Yeah,
I'm going 5. If it's your money, you can do 10. But I've been betting against Harry Kane on a few of these bets now, Bucks. I keep looking at Kane unders, and it's gonna drive me nuts if we lose these bets. But I'll be fine if that means Kane had a hat trick and Spurs won 3-1.
So I really like the Martial Sun bet. I think that is my second favorite. I'm going to get into my third favorite here. You need to go to new game. Head to Watford Leicester for me, would you?
Oh, boy. We'll mosey down over there. Let's see here.
Yeah, mosey on down.
Still going. Not there. Oh, blew by it.
There we go. And it is the next more or less. All right, Jamie Vardy and Sarr. I like Jamie Vardy to hammer the more. Hammer the more. Jamie Vardy.
Your only issue is if he doesn't play enough.
That's fair. That's a fair thing. But look, if he takes 2 shots on net, that he gets it going. I like Jamie Vardy there, and I like Sarr less.
Really?
Sarr is a playmaker. And I love the player. I'll be honest. I think Jedson Fernandez is a good comparison to a guy like Sarr. A little less speed, but more technical ability, in my opinion. But Sarr is a guy who will really screw the defense up, but he doesn't have that final finishing touch. I have Sarr at less.
So I'll go with you on it just because it's your show. And this is why we pay you the big bucks. But I'm only going to put 2 on this because I like Sarr more. And my thought process is, I think he's just a good player.
Then go more. This is your money.
Well, it's money, Bucks. I'm on a PJ right now spending $2. It's not like
No, explain why you think Sarr is going to go more.
Two things. One, I think he's just a good player and get it outright. It could be you're one assist away from this hitting. If they score, it's probably at his hands and his feet, if you will. And I also think there could be a spot where Leicester might get up and then sit back a little bit, and he might be a shot or two on net. He's probably the one they're most uncomfortable with on that squad, right?
I would agree, yeah.
So I guess I'm also rooting for fun. Maybe that's why it's a sucker's bet. It's up to you, bud.
On the season, he's averaging 1.18 monkey knife fight points a game.
How many? 1.1?
1.18.
1.8. All right, I'll ride with you less. I had to think about it, but
look,
I don't love it.
He is a game changer, but he's not the guy with the final touch. He just isn't.
See, I think he's got a great profile pic, by the way. He looks like he means business. He's getting shit done.
But look at Jamie Vardy. He's always getting shit done.
He looks like he's questioning something.
Well, of course.
Like you can't see it, but his hands are up.
His hands are definitely up, and he's got an ankle bracelet on.
No longer active. Something happened.
What just happened?
It just said no longer active, Buck.
Oh, it's active.
Did we spend all my money? No, I have a lot left.
Yeah, your wife's money is flush. Tyler says, nah, wife's money, go 10.
That's a good point. All right. We're up to 10. And I think it took it.
All right.
Thanks, Tyler, for the pep talk.
Look, I watch all these matches. I love Sarr. I think he's an absolute game changer. I just see him coming in less there. And then the last one I wanted to look at as we wrap up here. Thank you all for joining. We've really appreciated all the interaction. This has been great. Bournemouth Crystal Palace, please. The last one.
There it is.
All right, so I want rapid fire 2 for 2 for 2x. Okay, so on this one, you have Jordan Ayew and Callum Wilson getting 0.5 for Callum Wilson. I still like Jordan Ayew here. Jordan Ayew has been the main goal scorer there for Crystal Palace. I'm liking Jordan Ayew quite a bit. What are your thoughts there?
So you made the point that Fraser's not playing, so does Callum Wilson got to step up and play more, play longer? That half lingers, though.
The half lingers, I'm not too worried about it. I like what I've seen at Jordan Ayew, 8 goals on the season. I know Callum Wilson also has 8 goals. I think Crystal Palace wins this one. Therefore, I'm going Ayew.
I'll ride with you on that. What are we doing on the next one?
Zaha. I don't even understand this whatsoever. Wilf Zaha getting plus 1.5 against his own teammate, Christian Benteke, who has been dog shit this year. Absolute dog shit. Wilf Zaha, and look, we don't have to hit a mark here. He comes in getting 1.5. Wilf Zaha wins this outright.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. All right, 10 it is. Thanks, wife. Let's see.
And that was my favorite monkey knife fight pick of the night. Folks, thank you all for joining. We couldn't be more excited. We're going to be coming out with these every single week. Obviously, we have midweek games, so we're not going to be able to do this all the time. I wish we could. Danny Shakes, he's flying, he's jet setting, he's seeing everything, and he's got a wife and kid at home, you know?
Barely see him.
He's got a mobile office with a full bookshelf there full of all sorts of trinkets. You wouldn't
They're all nailed down, just so you know.
Everything is nailed down. Folks, thank you all for joining. Shakes, sign the people off.
Let's go. Come on, you Spurs.
Coys, get it done. Beat Man U.
Coys.